welcome to the Natural to Natural podcast. Today, I have a very, very special guest, Miss Toia Berry. I am so excited, Toia, to have you here with me. I mean, this is like so awesome. This is like full circle, right? Remember when I came into the industry and I started doing natural hair and we connected, and it's just so nice to have you on my podcast. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to do this. I can't wait.
So let's start out by introducing yourself and letting our guests know who you are, what you're about, what you're doing. Okay.
Well, my name is Toia Berry, as Samiko said, and I am a lifestyle blogger. Started out definitely as a natural hair blogger, focusing on natural hair because that's my love. But, you know, after having a family, having my son, he's 5 years old now, I kind of transitioned into talking about different things on my channel, on my Instagram page, on my blog. So it's more lifestyle, but I definitely do still delve into hair because, again, that's my base and that's my love.
Yeah, so Toia is a blogger. So let's go back a little bit, Toia. So when did we do our first event together? That was what, in 2011, I think it was, right?
2010?
It was 2010?
Something like that. You might be right, though. Maybe 2010, 2011.
Okay, I think it was 2011 because I left corporate in 2010. So I think it was that following year when I really started getting it, right?
Yeah, you're right. Because I went natural in 2010. So, and it was the following year. Yeah, you're right.
All right. So 2011, Toia put together this like really awesome event, and she invited me to come out to be on a panel and to demonstrate cutting hair. And it was amazing. Like, you had all these other bloggers on there. And, you know, are you still doing events now, or no, you're doing more of the blogging, you're focusing more on that?
No events now. Just like you said, still focusing on the blog. I feel like natural hair events have kind of fizzled out a little bit. They're not being done as much these days, but I do definitely want to delve into that more. My son is older now. Actually, my last event was like 2 months before I found out I was pregnant. So,
really? So 5 years ago?
So 5 years ago. So I was like, well, there goes that. So much for next year. But I definitely, a lot of people have been asking, when is your next event? When is your next event? So yeah, I would love to get back into it. Yeah,
because your events are awesome. I mean, you bring some really great people together. You have like all this stuff going on. So I've always enjoyed being a part of it. But even going as just as an attendant and just seeing everything that you, and it's so informative. And that's what I love about your events. It's not just getting people together to sell stuff. Like, you have people there that are very informative, that give really great information. So people are not just taking home products, but they're taking home information they can actually use and apply on their natural hair journey. So I can't wait. I look forward to the next event. I know it's going to be awesome. All right, so let's get into your hair story. So tell us about like your growing up, and you know, what was it like growing up? Was your mom like opposed to, because you know, like some parents, they were relaxers and they really didn't want us to have natural hair because they didn't know how to care for hair. Did you grow up in an environment like that, or?
To be honest with you, my mom was growing up, from what I can remember, she was relaxed. If I'm not mistaken, my mom did a lot of things to her hair. I mean, we're talking about the 80s. So everybody did so much with their hair. I watched her get her hair braided, get her hair relaxed, get the press and curl and everything. So I don't feel like she was opposed to natural hair or opposed to relaxers per se. I think she could have gone either way. But I grew up most of my life, most of my young life, natural. Braids all the time. You know, I think we all had like the 3 plaits, you know, growing up. But my mom was really good at cornrowing. So she cornrowed my hair, you know, to make me look a little cute and everything. And it wasn't until I was 11 and I actually got a relaxer by accident, if you want to call it that. Because
so how do you get a relaxer by accident? You have to explain that one to us.
Well, what happened was I was staying with a family friend. Actually, my dad had just passed away, and I was 11 years old. And so we were staying with some friends. My mom had gone out. the friend wanted to do, or the friend's daughter wanted to do my hair. And because she comes from, her mom is Black, but her dad is Hispanic. So she had kind of a softer curl to her hair. And she's trying to do my hair and she couldn't do it because she's like, what is this stuff? She's trying to put all this product in it and the product is just making my hair shrink, right? So she's like, oh my gosh, this is getting worse. She's panicking. And so her mom is a hairstylist. So she said, Mom, can we give her a relaxer? And she's like, well, I don't know. Like, Toya, would your mom mind if we permed your hair? And I was like, and back then there are no cell phones or anything. So she couldn't call my mom or anything like that. But sure enough, she went and put the relaxer in my hair.
Wait, I'm sorry. So time out. So your was like a okay for her.
Like
it was like a go ahead.
Exactly. It was like, go ahead and do what you want to do, apparently. So there was that. My first relaxer at 11 years old. And when it happened, I don't know if my mom confronted the friend or I don't know what happened behind the scenes, but she did tell me later on in life that she was not ready to relax my hair if she was going to let me relax it at all. But so there was that.
Wow.
But I've always had a fascination with hair, though. Even before I got my first relaxer, as I said at the outset, hair is my love. I've just always been fascinated with the styles that they would do in my mom's hair, and just the whole science of it and everything. So that's kind of where I started growing up.
So now, what made you decide? How long did you have the relaxer, and what made you decide to go back to being natural?
Let's see. I got my first relaxer at 11. I would say I stopped relaxing at 29 years old. So 2009.
Okay.
Is when I stopped relaxing my hair. And it was kind of at the behest of my husband.
Wait. Your husband?
My husband.
Really?
I know that's like unheard of.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, my husband is actually the one who kind of urged me. He didn't pressure me, but he urged me. Every woman in his family was natural. His mom was natural. His grandma had locks. I think at the time his sister had locks. So we would see women while we were dating. We would see women on the street like with naturals, and it was just kind of starting to come into play. And he was like, see, you could look like that. You could do that with your hair.
Oh, wow.
You don't have to keep going through the pain of relaxing your hair. And so the turning point was one evening I was relaxing my hair. I was doing my touch up in the bedroom. And when that burn starts, okay. And I'm walking around and I'm doing like this as if this is going to help. I'm doing like this. And he comes in and he looks at me and he's like, shaking his head, and he's like, I don't know why you women put yourselves through this pain. And Samiko, that was my last relaxer. Because I was like, you know what? You're right. Why am I putting myself through this? And that was my last relaxer. I let it grow out. I transitioned for about 8 or 9 months. And then I was tired of that. And I was like, let's cut this off. So yeah, and that was that. And I'm happy. I never turned back. Never turned back.
Wow. By the way, your hair looks fabulous. Like, it is beautiful. Beautiful. So now, is this like a twist out, or what do you have in your hair?
Pretty much. This is a twist out. I kind of blew my hair out a little bit first to get I like the poofiness of it that the blowout gives me at first, and then I just twisted it.
Okay.
I put about 12 twists in my hair and just let it out, and this is it.
Okay. And how long does a twist out usually last for you?
If I maintain it pretty well, about a week. If I just kind of loosely twist it at night, put a bonnet on, I can let it last for about a week before I.
Very nice. Now, do you have to put a whole lot of product on it in order to get it to really set? Not really. Look at your face.
No, I am not all about all those products. Never mind what's behind me. But
right. That's a whole other story.
Okay, no attention to what's behind me. But yeah, I basically do. So after I wash my hair, I just do like a leave-in conditioner and some sort of sealant, and then like a wrapping or setting lotion to set my hair, and that's it.
Okay,
That is
very
it.
good. And then what do you put in between to like maintain it? Do you
In
use the
between, I may use a refresher spray in between. Sometimes uh, I may have to go in and maybe like retwist one or two areas, you know. But for the most part, the setting lotion will kind of keep the look. And of course, I actually like when my hair gets a little bigger and starts to
right?
lose a bit of the definition. I like that. So, you know, I kind of let it do what it's going to do throughout the day, throughout the week.
So you sound like you embrace the frizz. You actually like the frizz. Well, some people just want more the freshness, right? Or the definition, where you like it over time as it gets older and it starts to swell up. Definitely. I like that too, because I really feel like the main thing with a good style is the shape. So once you have a really good shape, it could be curly, it could be frizzy, it could be textured. It just looks great. And so let me ask you, the shape that you have now, do you trim your own hair? Do you shape your own hair?
I do trim my own hair. I like to maintain this kind of, thing going on. So I do kind of try to maintain the shape because I find that one side of my hair, I forget which side, kind of grows a little faster, if you want to call it that, than the other side. So I try to maintain the shape. And even if I can't really stay on top of it, I can kind of maneuver things so that it looks, So, but yeah, I definitely maintain it a little bit as I twist. If I see something is a little off, I kind of snip it a little bit. But I try to maintain my my trims like every 3 months or so.
Now you are a cosmetologist, right? Do you have your license? I know you went to school.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't do hair as much. I hate. Sometimes I don't like to call myself a cosmetologist only because I feel like I'm not a practicing cosmetologist.
But can I tell you something? You went to school and you put in those hours, right?
You're right.
You're a cosmetologist. Right. So it's like saying I went to school to be a doctor and I put in 8 years and I got my degree, but I'm not going to call myself a doctor because I'm not practicing. Oh, no. You earned that, girlfriend. Okay.
I take it back.
Yeah. So you are a cosmetologist. Right. You may not be practicing. But I love it because you've always had a passion for it. And so you went and got your license. And even when you talk to people, you can still talk to people, not just from experience, but because you went and you got the education. So that's really important. So stop saying that, okay?
No more.
That's right.
No more.
Toia, you have to understand that is your authority. That is the fact that you put those time and that hours in. Own that. It's okay if you're not practicing it. Look, I'm not in the salon doing hair like I used to anymore because I sold the salon, but I'm still a cosmetologist.
You're right about that. I'm putting that in my bio now.
Exactly, because people want to see that, and that's really important. And you've definitely earned that, and that's really important. So now let me ask you this. So now, have you had any challenges along the way? So you loved hair, you do hair, you've been doing it. Have you ever faced any challenges with growing out your hair, or even now?
So I remember when I was freshly natural, I guess you could say that, about a year or two in, I kind of had a little, envy of one person in particular. I don't know why it was just this one person. I was so in awe with watching everyone's journey on YouTube. That's when YouTube started really getting popping with natural hair tutorials. But it was this one person, I won't name her, but I thought her hair was so gorgeous. We kind of started at around the same time, big chop at the same time, had about the same length going on. And her hair was just flourishing. And I'm just like, are you serious? Like, my hair is still looking like this. Her hair is like on her shoulders. And I was just like, in the same amount of time though, like, what's going on? So there, I feel like I kind of had a little bit of, a little bit of envy, but it didn't last long. Thankfully, it didn't last long. I kind of looked at my routine. She talked about her routine, and then, like you said, cosmetology background, and I know genetics plays a part and everything. So I said, you know what? Let me take a step back and just like reassess what I'm doing with my hair. How can I retain length? And so, like I said, it didn't last for very long. I looked at her journey. Her hair grew like to tremendous lengths, but I figured, like, I have a terminal length to where my hair is going to grow in. I'm happy with where it is right now. If it got longer, great. If it didn't, wonderful. So that was the only challenge I would say I've had along the way.
And I think you made a really good point in terms of understanding that DNA or genetics has a big part in this. Because again, like you, a lot of women out there have this here. They look at other women and they desire to have what other women have, but they have to understand that it may not be in your genetics. It may not be in your DNA for your hair to be that length, because there is a terminal length. There is a terminal length. Just like the hairs on your arms have terminal length, it only grows to a certain length. Likewise for the hair in our head. And I think more and more women really need to understand that, and then be acceptance of, okay, like you said, if my hair is here, this is my hair, is beautiful, and embrace that. And once women start to really do that, then they can admire someone else's hair, but they wouldn't compare or hope that, because then you set yourself up for disappointment every single time you do that, right? And you can't really embrace the journey. You can't really really learn to love and embrace your hair if you're constantly looking at other women, hoping to one day. And it's so unfortunate because it's all about marketing, right, Toia? It's all about, right? It's all about companies putting out there what they know women want and could never have, but it's what's going to sell the product. So it's so important. And that's why individuals like you and I are so important, because we give them the information that's necessary that they're not going to get, right? The honest truth, whether they want to hear it or not. And that's the one thing that I love about you and why we connected, because you're like, look, Samika's gonna tell you the truth. Like, you may not want to hear it.
Yes.
But likewise for yourself, we need it. And especially now, because more and more women are embracing their natural. It's a lot more popular now. But there's not a lot of people out there giving the honest, the truth, really
real talk.
Exactly. Exactly. So now, what do you love so much about your hair?
I mean, pretty much the versatility of it. I can do this. I can do a bun. I can wear it shrunken, and I've worn a shrunken fro. I can just do so much with it. I feel like with my hair too, like if I put a curl in it, the curl stays, like, as opposed to like some people are envious of that. Like, we want this, like, some of us, I should say, want this like smooth and silky hair. And sometimes those people are like, well, my hair doesn't hold a curl. Like, so I love that my hair pretty much does what I ask it. Even if it doesn't, I can still switch it up and do something else and it'll still look good. So that for me is top, the first versatility of it.
Yeah, like our hair, literally, we can do everything with our hair, right? We could make it straight, we could make it curly, we could make it shrink, right? We could make it stand out here, we could braid it up, we could twist it. Like, there is so much versatility. I think once we really accept that, because we were made for so long to feel like our hair was bad hair, like it's embedded in us. So it's a mindset first before anything. And I've had hundreds of clients, and I kid you not, every client that I've had that sat on my seat wished they had a different head of hair. Every single, from the straight hair client to the kinky hair client. Like, there was always something that someone wished they had that someone else had. Right? Isn't that crazy?
It's always like that. It's so crazy. We always want what we don't have. And we think, like I said, we think that people with straight hair or looser curls have it better, but they want to be able to do this, so we can't look at other people. We have to just really embrace what we have.
Yes. And it's a beautiful thing. And I am so happy that more and more women are embracing it. So now it's just about educating them, right? And giving them the right information, like the right tools, and really helping them out, and not fearing like if we give them the information that we're no longer needed, because that's what's going to, and I think that's what people fear, right? If you give too much information, then now they're going to be on their own. Look, they're going to YouTube anyway, right?
You're right about that. They're
going to find the information from somewhere anyway. So we just want to make sure, as professionals, right? Because you're a professional, right? That's right. As professionals, we're giving the right information because that's what we're really trained to do. Just like doctors, they're trained to help you stay on track to live your best life and be healthy. Right. We're trained to make sure that our clients have healthy hair. So we have to share the information, right? That's our first duty as cosmetologists, is to share the right information, because health starts at home. Not in the salon, not with YouTube. It starts what they do at home. And that's our job, to give them the right information. So when they are at home, they can follow a regimen to make sure that their hair stay healthy. That's for sure. Absolutely. Okay. So now, if you had to share some inspiration to women around the world who are natural or who are thinking of going natural, what would it be?
Well, again, back to what I was saying with the challenge that I had back when I was, a year or two into being natural is the comparison. Don't do it. As you said, you've had clients that come in your chair and like every single one wants someone else's hair. I've had the same thing happen. People come in my DMs or they email me and they're like, how can I grow my hair? I saw XYZ person and this, that. And it's like, you can't do that. You can't do that. There's so many different factors that go into hair growth. There are different factors that go into the hairstyles. People, I've seen people comment on different pages and they're like, but how did you get your hair like that? I tried those same products and it didn't come out the same. Girlfriend. Okay, I don't care how much alike your hair looks as the other person. There are so many things, the environment, again, like we said, genetics, the process of how you put your twist in or whatever it is. There could be so much involved in your hair and the next person's hair. So comparison, don't do it. Right. It's not healthy at all.
And this is why I feel it's important, even if you have just to have a basic concept of how to take care of your hair, it's really good to see a professional, someone who really specializes in natural hair, because they can really sit you down and kind of talk to you about, like you said, it might just be a little technique that you may have to switch up because of your hair. Like, for instance, with your hair, like, you have beautiful volume, but there might be some people who want that look, but they just don't have the volume. There are some techniques that you can use, utilize, like they may not just be able to put the twist in and get the volume. They might have to put the twist in and set it on some rods, or they might have to put more twist in. But seeing a professional could really walk through and help you understand, okay, this is what will work best for me. And you said it like I say it all the time. Everyone's hair is not the same. Your hair is like your fingerprint. Right. I don't care how much it looked like someone else's. It's completely different. And I will continue to say that because of genetics. And it's like putting perfume on two different people, right? Because you can have the same perfume and put it on two different people, and it's going to smell totally different because of body chemistry, right? It's the same thing. Your chemistry in your hair. Your porosity may be low or high, right? The elasticity, the protein level, all of those things play a huge part in how your hair receives the product. And so you can use the same product and it may not work. And you're like, why didn't my hair come out like that? And that's why you have to stop looking at other people. And 9 times out of 10, Toia, we've already figured out what works best for our hair. We just see other people and we want our hair to look like theirs. And so now we're chasing after what they did instead of sticking to what we know worked best for us, right?
Yes, that happens a lot. You know what? That made me think of something that happened at the first event where a certain popular natural hair vlogger, she doesn't do natural hair vlogging anymore. I won't say who she is, but she kind of transitioned into some other stuff. But she has a looser texture hair, like curly hair. And so a friend of mine who has her I wouldn't say her curl is as tight as mine, but she has a bit of a looser curl as well, but it's still not as loose as the other person's hair. So she was at the event, one of our special guests, and my friend went to her and said, hey, so she tried like a fro hawk or something like Bantu Knot Out. And she said, hey, I tried your Bantu Knot Out. Now it looked completely different from the vloggers, but she was happy with it because she understands that this is my hair. and that's your hair. So if I try the technique, okay, it's not going to come out exactly the same. So we just have to put it in our heads. And I tell people this all the time, just put it in your head that your hair is not going to come out exactly like the other person. Because of all of the factors that we mentioned. And it's just, technique, hair type, the porosity. I'm so glad you brought that up. Everything. Yeah. And
facial structure,
facial structure, all of that. So it's gonna look different. It's gonna look different. We just have to get that in our heads.
And so we just have to be out there. We have to scream this so much until women get it, and they will, because they really want to embrace it. And you see women really trying to really embrace their hair, and it just needs to be more voices out there. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to start this podcast for women who can relate, who are out there, who want to hear from individuals like you and I. They just want to know the truth. They're tired of hearing the same stories, or failing at looking at YouTube and it not working because they're not hearing information.
And you know what else, Samiko? I think here's the thing too: hair typing.
Oh my goodness! Go ahead, girl. Go ahead.
You see my face?
Yes.
Hair typing.
Yes.
I think this is what kills it for a lot of people, is because we have this number letter system and we're looking at curl pattern only. And it's not just the curl pattern. And sad to say, a lot of these brands are catering to curl pattern because they know that this is what people are looking at.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, 4C hair, your hair is 4C, my hair is 4C. I should be able to use this. But we're talking about the hair structure, porosity. Is your hair thick, thin, fine? What is going into the whole characteristics of your hair?
Absolutely.
That's gonna make or break your style. I mean, not necessarily make or break, but it's gonna make the difference between what your hair is gonna look like and what the other person looks like.
Absolutely. So, I'm so glad that you brought that up, because before natural hair was popular, there was no such thing as 3B, 3C, 4A, 4Z. It was only when it became popular. Now, so they can sell products, because now they can tell you what your hair is and this is what you need. Back in the day, when we were younger and our parents were younger, they didn't have all of that. None of it. And so seriously, and I think that, again, there just needs to be more voices out there to really give people the right information, because I get it all the time. Well, what type of hair do I have? Do I have 4A, 4B, 4C? And I tell people I don't use that, because really, even within, let's say, a curl pattern, we all have different textures throughout our hair. Exactly. No one has the same exact texture. Some people's hair is softer back here and kinkier and coarser up here, or softer hair. It really depends on the individual. And so that's why knowing your hair and understanding your hair is so important. Just like you know your body. You can't go to the doctor and expect the doctor to tell you what's going on with your body. Exactly. And so when you sit in a salon chair, you should be able to tell your stylist, or anyone else for that matter, what's going on, what your hair is like, right? Not someone else telling you what your hair is like. Right. And so that's where real education comes in, really understanding. And unfortunately, we're not really taught that in beauty school. We're not. The focus is not on. So a lot of stylists are really not educated on how to talk to women or teach women how to take care of their hair. I've just been so blessed to be able to work at one of the top natural hair care salons in the country. So my training came So that was really good for me. I'm telling you, at 19, Toia, when I walked through those doors, it was like, oh my goodness. It was like a natural hair haven. And I've learned so much. And then I've just continued on that path, because I felt like more and more women should know and should understand,
For sure. I remember when I was in cosmetology school, I mean, the book literally had a paragraph about natural hair, if you even want to call it that. And basically all they said was, in order to style natural hair, naturally textured hair, straighten it first.
Exactly.
I was like,
exactly.
What about, okay, so everybody else's hair I could just do fine.
Exactly.
But this hair, I have to straighten it first.
Right.
So
So we were always taught how to change our texture in order to style it. So we can't style it or we can't embrace it the way that it is. There's nothing you can do with it like that. So you need to either relax it or you need to press it or you need to do something to change it. And then you can style it and then you would be considered beautiful or have beautiful hair, right? So now we need to change that narrative. We need to change, and we have been. And you see so many women embracing it. Toya, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. It's been such a pleasure. So now I want you to tell our guests where they can find you, all about what you got going on, what you're doing, what, you know, your book, whatever, because I know you got a new book coming out or something like that, or is that already?
Yes.
Give us all the details.
So of course, so my blog, first of all, is toyabarry.com. I'm on Instagram, toya.barry. Everywhere else is Toya Barry though. And so I do have a natural hair ebook. That's a freebie. So if you go to my website, you should see a pop-up or you see some other kind of signage somewhere talking about the natural hair ebook. Basically, some easy steps to get you on your way to your journey through natural hair. Simple things that you can put into practice, but sometimes we don't really think about all those things. And I have a new ebook coming out. Basically, since I'm like all about Instagram and Instagram marketing, I have an Instagram stories book coming out. Nice. So all about IG stories and how to use it to kind of pump up your brands and get people interested, keep people's attention on your IG page to either like sell what you're selling if you have a physical product or digital products, and just to push your brand, period. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. It's on pre-sale right now. So again, toyabarry.com. And if you go there, you'll see the pre-sale for that ebook as well.
Very nice. Very nice. So we have your information up. We'll also put it in the comments. So if people want to go to your website to check it out, the information will be there. Thank you again so much, Toya, for everything.
Fun. Thank you.
Yes. All right. Bye.
All right.